Hey everyone, it's Desiree, and I am here with another design team project for Rubber Stamp Tapestry, and they're awesome peg stamps. Now this one's going to be a little bit different. Not going to make a card, but we're still going to have fun stamping because it's paper and we can do anything with it, right? Right. So my focal for the peg stamps is called Fresh Lemonade. I just think this is an absolutely adorable peg set. And it is versatile. Now remember, these are peg stamps. There's different sizes. They have a registry going down the side, and that tells you where the base of the stamp is. So depending upon how you want it placed, you will be able to turn the peg and stamp however you want. So what I've done is I've grabbed a piece of cardstock and I've cut it 2 3/8 by 8 inches. Well, at least I thought I cut it by 2 3/8 and 8 inches. Oh, you'll see. I'm also going to use the sentiment stamp pack from them called Whispers from the Garden. So I thought this sentiment was perfect. And of course I'm going to use my VersaFine black ink. I do take their unmounted rubber stamps and I do put them on the easy mount foam, which is horrible to work with. I'm just gonna say it out there loud. It's horrible, but I persevere. So when life gives you lemons. So of course, as always, again, I know in the last video I didn't, but for this one I immediately went for my mementos. So I'm using dandelion and pear tart. So I'm going to make yellow and green. So lemon and limes. Yes. And I'm just going to have fun stamping. That's the beauty. I'm turning this every once in a while. I'm going to make sure that there's a set right by the sentiment. But I just want them to fill up the bottom, come up the side a little bit, and then look like they're coming from the top as well. I do keep a baby wipe next to me at all times when I use these. It is, I find, the easiest way to clean them. You could use your chamois, but again, I would just take the stamp to the chamois and turn it. I wouldn't, rub the chamois on it. I don't know why. It just works for me. And I do apologize. I still have my cold. I think this one's going to hang on for a while. So you guys will have some awesome fun. So I know I usually say start with your largest and then go down to your smallest, but I did want to start with the lemons and limes first for placement. Now I know where to put the large greenery that's in this set. Now for this, I'm using New Sprout, which is a pale green. Since it's such a big stamp, okay, it's not a huge stamp, but it's a big greenery and it's solid. I didn't want it to overpower. So that's why I'm using a light green. Plus, I'm also using this as a great filler, just to fill in those white areas, because I did want this to have a lot of pop of color. I wanted this to be bright, cheerful, and fun. So I think using that New Sprout for that big leaf section, I think that really helped. So now I'm going to come in with bamboo leaves, and this is the smaller one. So this I'm using like an accent. Excuse me. Now you do want to make sure, and I'm horrible with this, I always rock my stamp when I go into the ink pad. You want to check it every once in a while so that you don't have ink around the edge of the rubber, ink so that you don't get a halo. I do get halos. I've just learned to cover them up. It happens, and it's okay. Let it go. You can simply cover it up. It's not going to do any harm or anything like that. So now I have that little piece of greenery going on there. Again, just adds that deeper pop of color. Now you can go with any color. Now this is the flower that's on a lemon tree. It's usually white. Well, I didn't want to stamp in white. So I grabbed the Tangelo, and I want to use the second generation stamping just to give a hint of that orange color in the background. And I'm just using that at each of the lemon and lime clusters. And then just making sure that there's one by the sentiment. So that's the front of our panel strip. Now we're going to do the other side. So I'm going to kind of do the same thing, except I'm only going to focus towards the bottom. I'm not going to so much go towards the top. I do just want to have them towards mid to the bottom. So there's not much stamping, but the same stamping. So I'm using the pear tart and the dandelion for the limes and the lemons. I'm using the new sprout for the large greenery, just to give that fill, to give that background, so to speak. Then I'm going to use the darker green, the bamboo leaves, for the smaller leaf cluster, again, just to give that pop for the leaves over the lemon and limes. And I am making sure that that's curving a certain way. I do want to make sure that it almost hugs around the lemon or the lime that I'm trying to come around with. Sometimes I'm successful, sometimes I'm not. Again, it's okay. And then I'm going to come in with the second generation stamping of the Tangelo. Again, just another pop of color. Now the sentiment that I chose for the back, I think is awesome. And it's from the same sentiment stamp set. And it says, "Squeeze the day." I just thought that was cute. Get it? Squeeze the day. When life gives you lemons. All right. You know, guys, I'm a sentiment person. It kind of inspires me. But I was getting thrown off with this sentiment. Because it says, "When life gives you lemons." I had limes on there too. So I'm just going to doodle and limes. And I don't think it looks that bad. But I had to add it. But still, when life gives you lemons and limes, squeeze the day. All right, I thought it was cute. So these are a lot of the packaging that I have. These are what I use for my cards, for the packaging of my products in my business. So I have these strips. They are 2.5 by 8 inches. Now, again, remember what I said. I thought I cut it 2 3/8 by 8 inches. No, I cut it 2 3/8 by 8.5. So I just eyeballed 1/4 of an inch on each side because I didn't want to lose all of my stamping. Well, that was a perfect eyeball. So I'm going to put that in, and what I'm going to make sure is that the opening is towards the bottom. So I'm grabbing my sequins. I'm grabbing my tonic prickly pear sequins. I love the name of those. And I'm going to put some to the front and to the back, because this is pretty snug in there. Now I'm going to add, of course, some of my iridescent sequins to the front and the back. And again, I don't want too many, but I do want enough that it's going to be a shaker strip. Yes, I'm not telling you what it is yet, if you haven't already figured it out. So I'm going to remove the release paper, or the strip, and then I'm just going to tightly pull that up. Again, I want to make sure there's no openings. I want to make sure there's no chance for these sequins to come out, because trust me, they will find a way. I dug into my stash and I pulled out a peach, a green organza, and my black and white twine. So I dug into my ribbon box there. And I want these long. I love long, flowy tassels. It's just what I do. So I have them ready to go, and I used my tweezers to hold on so I can know where the center is. And this is my Mahumba hole punch. I don't know where I got it. I believe it is a We Are Memory Keepers. But this thing is just a Mahumba. Now this is going to give you an extremely nice size hole punch. I believe that is the 1/4 of an inch. But it's very strong. I can go through very thick chipboard with that little guy. But I did need a bigger hole because I'm using so much ribbon and organza and twine. And I'm doing that because I'm going to make sure that this is tight. So I'm going to pull on each one, just tighten it down. But then I'm going to loosen it up so that it fills up that circle. Now, what could this be that you ask? Okay, it can be it could be anything that you want it to be. But mainly, what I'm going to use it for is I'm going to use it as a bookmark. I do like the feel of a book. I don't like reading on my iPad or a Kindle or anything else like that. I do like the feel of a book. But what I'm mainly going to use this for is I do have travel journals. The leather ones with the elastic bindings in them. It's what I make my journal for, is I put those in there. So this is going to mark one of my pages in my book that I carry around for this is my day timer, my life, my plans, everything. So if you want to see more on that, let me know. I'll show you a video of what it looks like. But I do hope you enjoyed today's design team project for Rubber Stamp Tapestry. I had a lot of fun with it. These are items that I do create often. It was something just a little bit different instead of a card. But I just want to show you what we have we can use for anything. So I hope you'll give it a try. All the products that I used, of course, will be listed down below if you want to check them out. Also, if you have any questions or comments, please make sure you leave those down below as well, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I'm always trying to catch up, but I will promise I will get back to you. But I do thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel, be a part of my group, and tune in for the next video that I release. It'll be soon. Here are a few other videos I thought you might like, similar to this one, so more of the Rubber Stamp Tapestry products. Take care, everyone, and always remember, be creative.